Shit. Hook a doke. Chapter 19. You know how we do. Like magic. Okay, we're about ready to start here. We're ready. We're ready. We're cooking. We're cooking. Ah, delicious. Delicioso. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Chapter 19. Stephen. This wasn't my first time at the rodeo of being arrested, but I had to admit, my first time hadn't been nearly as much fun. As a senior prank, I and a group of buddies had vandalized the car of the principal of our school. While we thought it was hilarious to paint a picture of a nude woman on the hood of his Maserati, he hadn't. Fabulich, what's up? What'd it do? Hell, the artwork was fantastic. Every detail utter perfection. But alas, he didn't think it would be right to drive down the road with a naked blonde lounging on the hood with her legs spread wide open and her pussy lips glistening. Teehee. Let's try this out. To make matters worse, the woman in question was a real person and had just happened to be the woman the principal was having an affair with. Depicting the vivacious chick, half his age, didn't win us any brownie points. If it hadn't been for my father's influence in town, my guess is I'd still be locked away if the principal had made good on his threats. Karina Ann, good morning. Leave it in. What few people knew was that my father had paid him a personal visit to encourage him to keep his mouth shut. Barrett Masters wasn't immune to using mob tactics when necessary. This was different. This was being caught with my pants down. This was being caught with my pants down. Literally. Okay, boys, come on. This was being caught with my pants down. Literally. Not only was there a morals clause in my contract, that's the loudest vehicle driving by, holy frick. Holy frick? Widowy. Okay. Not only was there a morals clause in my contract with the Gators that outlined the worst offense is. Not only was there a morals clause in my contract with the Gators that outlined the worst offenses, and they didn't include jello wrestling, one thing was clear. I couldn't get arrested. If I did, it meant automatic dismissal from the team. Man, my voice is taking a second. What's up, Maddie? Couldn't get arrested. If I did, it meant automatic dismissal from the team. I guess I hadn't thought about the possibility of getting caught. Then again, my desire for the beautiful, if not troublemaking Christine had caught me off guard, especially after what she'd said about shifters. as if she'd been talking directly to me, as if I wasn't fooling anyone. If that was the case, then why had she appeared in such distress around me? What up, Wheaties? What up, my guy? We should be golfing today. My beautiful date had acted as fuck! My beautiful date had acted as if she was in heat, which was impossible for a human. While there was strong chemistry between us, there was no chance she was chemically my mate. It was completely unheard of. We are golfing in Fairfield all day Saturday if you want to join. Shit, I just might have to. What is today? Thursday? I should know these days. I should know this. I think I get paid by then. I think we'd be gravy. It is Thursday. Shit, let's go. I could go for some of that. What's up, man? Okay. Completely unheard of. However, my need to possess and protect was stronger than before, including with the police officer heading in our direction. Hurry, babe. We don't have much time, I told her, trying not to laugh at the set of circumstances. Making corn for it? Hello. Hello, legend. Making corn for it. For golf? Golf and corn? Shit, you missed that barbecue. That corn would have went perfect. Perfect. Which country you belong? Merca. From Merca. Okay, here we go. Circumstances. Why can't I find my spot in my script? There it is. He had a flashlight in his hand, holding it over his head and toward the driver's side open window. I'm hurrying. Can't you stall him? And where are my panties? I don't think there's time to worry about them. I'll give them back later. Flight Medic Jim, welcome. I used to be a medic back in my day. I'll give them back later. If we got through this, at least I had my shirt on, although it was still untucked. Forget about the tie and jacket. I wasn't certain I had tossed the tie out the window. She fluffed her hair, both panting and cursing under her breath. By the time she huffed back, you skipped the fucking word. By the time she huffed and sat back in her seat, he was right on us. Evening, officer. What can I do for you? The guy shifted the flashlight into the car, shining the light directly on her face. Would you get that out of my eye? Oh, that's her. Sorry, my bad. Would you get that out of my eyes? Her tone wasn't what I'd call conciliatory. I'm not saying that even close to right. Fuck! We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What do the AI overlords say? Conciliatory? I'm pretty sure. Do you not feel like saying it aloud? Is my shit not on the right thing? Nope, it is not. Conciliatory. I'm missing an E in there. Conciliatory. Okay. Let's go like this. Let's go like that. What's up, Manon? Tess, how's it going? Another voice actor in the house. What it do? Alright. Conciliatory. Her tone wasn't what I'd called... Nope. Her tone wasn't what I'd call conciliatory, given we were technically in the wrong. We'll do it again! Her tone wasn't what I'd call conciliatory, given we were technically in the wrong. My feisty little bunny just didn't seem to think laws applied to her. I had to admit, I craved her even more. An editing day, that's exciting. I have a lot to do today, including a little editing later as well. But I want to get at least one chapter done. Gotta chip away at these things or else they take forever, I'm sure you know. Okay, even more. Evening, folks. Do you mind telling me what you're doing parked out here in the dark? She'd asked me if I was able to read her mind more than once. Well, I shouldn't be able to, and maybe I'd just been lucky before in figuring out what she was thinking. Right now, I had a terrible feeling she was ready to blurt out something that would push the envelope. Boop, Art, what up? Hold on, I gotta change this around. What's up, Kaylee? So I grabbed her thigh to try to keep her quiet while smiling, which wasn't like me. Her hiss was loud enough even with the bright light. I was able to see his expression, and he was none too happy. Why don't you tell him, Danny? She tossed out, as if completely unable to keep her mouth shut. Yeah, why don't you, Danny? He repeated. We were just having a little discussion. Gross. We were just having a little discussion and decided to pull off the road. I didn't think we were breaking any laws or anything, and I'm terribly sorry if we were. It won't happen again, will it, bunny cakes? I turned my head, giving her my version of an evil eye. Her sigh was no better than before. No, of course not, officer. Now, we're late to dinner with my parents, and I assure you that Senator Carrington won't appreciate his daughter being late to a very important dinner. Whoa, hold the fuck on. While I adored her for trying to use more than just her incredible feminine wiles to get us out of this situation, hearing that her father was a senator certainly hadn't been on my bingo card. No wonder she'd said her parents were particular. A senator. What were the odds that this was the very senator who was proposing our rights reversal? I turned my head, studying her face. If she'd been acting, she'd done a damn good job. If she was some plant for her father, why bring me to dinner? Nothing made any sense, but my hackles were raised. I found myself staring at her, completely ignoring whatever the officer was saying. This wasn't good on any level. What's up, Donnie? Hey, Danielle. Your father is a senator? Before she had time to answer, the officer tapped on the door of the Trans Am. Oops. Your father's a senator? Before she had time to answer, the officer tapped on the door of my Trans Am. I need to see some ID. Well, shit. It would seem my night wasn't getting any better. I'd forgotten all about the fact I was pretending to be someone else. This was a complete nightmare. Christine kept a smug look on her face while surfing for her phone. Fuck! What? I just made up words. Christine kept a smug look on her face while surfing for her purse. While she was searching for her ID, I gave him mine, offering a smile that I hoped he could read through. He certainly seemed to be in a shitty mood while waiting for her to fork over her license, staring at me as if I was a criminal. This wasn't going to end well. I could feel it. She leaned over me, slapping her license in his hand. The sickeningly sweet smile on her face was amusing, but I wasn't ready to laugh. This could turn into a total disaster. He walked away with both his hands. What? Yeah, I hope he has his hands. What? Miss Elizabeth, welcome. He walked away with both in his hands, and I leaned back against the fuck. He walked away with both in his hands, and I leaned back against the headrest. Your father's a senator. Why didn't you tell me? When she said nothing, I lifted my head, studying her. Oops. I pointed 2 spread fingers toward her eyes, then back to mine, repeating it as I huffed. You and I are going to need to work on our communication skills. Why wouldn't you think something like that was important? Because I knew you'd do exactly what you're doing right now. Panic. My father has always been involved in politics from the time I was born. He's opinionated, arrogant, and everything I hate. Trust me, you won't like him, and I knew if I told you the truth about who he was, you wouldn't come with me. And I hate like hell to admit it, but I can't stand the thought of my father winning. Hey, Kaylee. What do you mean, winning? If you think an arranged marriage is only for romance novels and crime syndicates, you're dead wrong. What? I turned toward her, feeling the same level of anger that she was. I'd heard some shit, but that was ridiculous. Yeah, he's even holding my trust fund over my head. Not that I care. I really don't. But every time I'm forced into spending time with him, they're already planning the wedding. That's disgusting. Now you know why I didn't tell you. Ebony reads smut welcome. She leaned over again, a snarl planted on her lovely face. What in the hell's taking so long? For the first time in my life, I played what my father called the get-out-of-jail-free card, and this is the one officer who doesn't care who my father is. When she leaned back, she shook her head. I'm sorry, Danny. I really am. If you don't want to go, I'll understand. She pressed her lips together, and all I could do was shake my head. I'll go, but I'm not happy about it. Why did it feel as if I recognized the name of her father? Maybe I was mistaken since I hadn't been in Florida for long, but something about the name Carrington stuck in my craw. If only I had the time to call my father. What's up, Jason? Uno minute. Delicious. I promise you that we'll leave as soon as possible. Oopsies. I promise you that we'll leave as soon as possible. My mother will try and insist we stay the night at their big house, but I can't do that. I'll pay for a hotel room if we don't want to drive back. At this point, I was pretty certain we weren't going to fuck! By the way, I'm giving away. I just released an audiobook. It's No Hero by Piper Stone. It's a crime syndicate type thing. It's good. It's very good. If you want it, just let me know. I'll send you a promo code. You can download that for free. I got 50 to get away. 50. 50 of them. Okay. Heck yeah. Hell yeah. Well, how about this? Slide into my DMs and just let me know. And then when I'm done with the live, I'll go through and I will distribute to whomever wants. But it is all yours. Let's see here. At this point, I was pretty certain we weren't going to make it to her parents' home. All the officer needed to do was open his mouth about my real identity, and poof, I wouldn't need to worry about dinner. Since he was running my name through the system, I'd have a star placed next to my name given I was a shifter. So, who knew what could happen? You really can't stand your parents. Could I dare trust her? And if she was my mate? Oh God. She laughed so bitterly, I tensed. I love them because they're my parents, but I can't stand them. Why did that fucking make so much sound? Wickedly, what's up, Wickedly? Let's go. Wickedly, I don't know if you have made the memo, but I just released an audiobook. And if you want it, it's No Hero by Pepperstone. If you would like it for free, slide into my DMs. I'll send you a promo code to download it when I am done here today. I love them because they're my parents, but I can't stand them as people, or that they won't just allow me to live my life. I've reached the limit of my patience. She had already reached for the door handle, ready to jump out. Whoa, you're not going anywhere. Like hell I'm not. She flipped her head. My God, these females, you're in the middle of a traffic stop, you're getting pulled over, the cop's back in his car. Now you're gonna get out of the car and fucking what, huff away? This is how we get shot, people. This is how we get shot. Hell yeah, slide on it. Shit. Okay, let's get ready for this fucking disaster. She flipped her head in my direction, narrowing her eyes. I felt the cop's presence and sighed. He had an entirely different look on his face. I'd almost call it a smile. Your story checks out, Miss Carrington. He handed her the license, but held on to mine, reading it and looking at me not once, but 3 times. And Mr. Right. Yes, there's a smudge on your license. Oopsies. I have to distinguish that more. And Mr. Right. Yes, there's a smudge on your license. Here you go. You're okay, fuck. Fuck! Here you go. Fuck. Here you go. You're both free to go, but I'm going to give you a piece of advice. This park closes at dusk for a very good reason. I took the license, now clearly able to see the amusement in his eyes. What's that? I asked, although I wasn't certain I wanted to hear what he had to say. The police officer eyed me carefully, as if daring me to challenge him. Yes! There have been reports of shifters in the park. Why did I rush that so much? There have been reports of shifters in the park. Rootless and bloodthirsty shifters. You're kidding me, Christine asked. Whether or not she was buying the story, I couldn't tell. But I did know he was pushing my buttons on purpose. Unfortunately not, ma'am. Since they were allowed to roam free, which I'm totally against, we've had several horrible crimes committed. Heinous discoveries that would give you nightmares. He still had the flashlight pointed toward us, and I could smell the hatred on him. He'd even unfastened the snap on his holster. Nope, I wasn't going to take the bait, although I was in what my coach would call a bitchy mood. So I smiled, just like I'd seen my dinner companion do. Well, I guess it's a good thing that I'm a black belt in karate, huh? I lifted my arms, showing him my empty hands. These are lethal weapons, so you don't need to worry, officer. But thank you for letting us know. We'll get out of your hair now. He glanced in, smiling at me in a way of letting me know I owed him for keeping my identity a secret. You young folks have a great night, and tell your father I said hello. Officer Frank Matheson. Thank you so much, officer, she said, the same sweet smile trumping his. When he backed away, starting to laugh, I took a deep breath. This was going to be a fucking long-ass night. Mate. My mate. There were many aspects about the reality that were too complex to spend much time on at this point. Whereas I'd felt a strong pull to her before, my beast floating precariously close to the surface every time she was near, after fucking her in the car in the woods, While other shifters had lingered in the shadows, there was no longer any possibility of denying the truth. Dude, car sex is no fun. Call me boring and old-fashioned, but holy fucking fuck. Ugh. In the car? With, like, fucking angles? We'd already commingled DNA. It's a struggle for sure. Golly, dude, what are we in high school? What are we in? Fuck. Can't be taller, big. I used to be a big powerlifting bodybuilding guy. Like, I had like 100 more pounds of fucking meat on me. I didn't fucking fit anywhere. Didn't fit anywhere. And, yeah. Get that car out of here. Get! Oh, my eyeball. My eyeball. Ah! More than one butt cramp for sure. For sure. Golly. It's too much. Too much. It's more like, hi, we're trying to do the dirty, but we're talking about just repositioning the whole time. The seatbelt is jabbing into my back. Center console's just fucking holding the camera. Jesus Christ. Not in a good way. Okay. Let's see here. We're getting too naughty. Lots of footholds. Well, yeah. You ain't wrong. Fun fact, one of my first times was behind a Kmart a Kmart building. We were in a parking lot. We were like 14. I had my driver's license. And that's all it took. And now Kmart doesn't exist, much like my love life. Oh, lordy. Okay. I gotta lock in for at least a sentence or two. Okay, how did I scroll so far that I can't fucking see where... There it is. We'd already commingled DNA. Well, my sperm was currently riding waves in her system, happy as could be. There was no formality to the process of mating, certainly not as depicted in books and in animal documentaries. But was that moment, that very... Fuck! Damn, dog. I know. There was that moment, that very moment, when fucking ceased to become all about pleasure and more about creating life. That's what mating was supposed to be about in any culture and species. Procreation. Humans couldn't deny the definition and meaning, preferring to use sex as nothing but pleasure. But the truth could eventually hit us if... Fuck! Say the words, dude. But the truth could eventually hit them in the ass. There was one other thing that usually occurred that I'd yet to do with anyone. Nodding. Only wolves performed the sexual act, and I'd felt the urge only moments before. Shit. This was getting serious. Let's face it. I didn't want a mate. Why did I need one? I was Stephen the Beast Masters, a man of power and sensuality, hungered for by all women. Well, some, anyway. Mostly punk bunnies. But it was the truth. Women were easy to come by. On any given night, I could have one or more. That just wasn't my style. Maybe that's why the only time I'd taken one of the puck bunnies up on their salacious offers was when I'd been introduced into the team in Philadelphia. Scroll, dude. Scroll before you start. I should be able to do this 9 years into the business. I'd had my fun. My father would call it sowing my wild oats. My mother had called it working through my inner child. Saint? He'd laughed in my face, patting my shoulder and winking. My teammate had told me it was a rite of passage I'd grown by. I fucking chewed on that whole word. Tess, thank you for liking the live. Thank you. If it just showed up late, I appreciate it still. My teammate had told me it was a rite of passage I'd grown bored. And my teammate had told me it was a rite of passage I'd grow bored with. He was right. Damn the man. The craziest thing of all was not just that. What is happening? Fuck! I feel fucking slow today. Like my brain's fucking barely here. Ah, delicious. It's so good. And my teammate had told. Whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, we'll just redo that whole place. We'll redo it! And my teammate had told me it was a rite of passage I'd grow bored. And my teammate had told me it was a rite of passage I'd grow bored with. And then a fucking car drives by. Am I grouchy? I don't know. Probably. And my teammate had told me it was a rite of passage I'd grow bored with. He was right. Damn the man. The craziest thing of all was not just that Christine was human, and mating with one was unheard of no matter what my father had told me, but that I'd smelled her desire. Not at all. Well, thank you. I'm presenting happiness forward. Not a typical desire, but something that had shocked her. An uncontrollable urge to feed the hunger in a way she couldn't understand. Her skin itched. Her face was blotchy and red. Her breathing was labored, even now. Is she having an allergic reaction? Get this bitch some Benadryl, sheet! I'm a voice actor and I don't like cars. Should we make that into a shirt? Holy fuck. The irony is, here's fucking something ridiculous. I'm one of those guys that drive a Harley Davidson where the pipes are like, blah, 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 blah. And I drive a big old jacked up diesel, it's not jacked up, but a big old diesel truck that's straight piped and it's got a turbo that goes, wee. And I hate every other car that makes sound. It is ridiculous. I'm a voice actor and I don't like cars. Would be a hot commodity. Oh my gosh. It's like, you would only know if you know. And if you knew, goddamn, you fucking know. Put a pin in it. I was gonna make, here, I'll tell you my secret. I've been meaning to make this shirt for a long time. I put all the things and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. I want merch. I'll get merch one day. But my idea is I want a shirt, and it just says, it has a little heart. It's a shirt with a pocket. A shirt with a pocket. Nobody wears a shirt with a pocket, but pockets are now going to be fun in 2026. And it's got a little heart right above the pocket. And if you pull the pocket down, it just says smut. So it looks like if you wearing it around, you're like, oh, that person's got a nice little heart on their shirt. Then you pull the pocket down, and it just says love smut. Yes, the power. I think it'd be cool because then you could be dirty and not be dirty at the same time, which I think is like part of the reason where this genre exists. I'd have to work on it. I have to write that down. I have so many things to write down. I'm a voice actor and I don't like cars. That's just funny to me. Breathing was labored even now. Okay. Yeah, she's in the middle of her allergic reaction. Or apparently she's in love. That's cute though. Well, thank you. Or the AC turning on. I used to live in a house a long time ago where my studio was in the basement, and in the wintertime I just had to like alternate between when the furnace was running and when it wasn't. Bro, it would take a good recording session and you're like, "Oh, you're in the groove, you're fucking doing it. Here's a 15-minute break." Golly. The AC's on the other side of the booth. Yikes. Good old distractions. Gotta love it. Or like sometimes a bird just like gets real close to a window, like perches on it, and just sings the song of its people. And it doesn't matter how much soundproofing you have, he's just screaming. He's screaming a high-pitched 4K frequency right into your audiobook. You're not supposed to hate animals, but I start thinking bad things. I'll get real mad. Okay. Even now. And she was hot to the touch. And she was hot to the touch, baby. I'd felt the very same thing. Still did. Now, the two of us were forced to pretend as if nothing was wrong. As if we weren't two animals about to lose our shit. Case in point. She was standing too close, so much so I couldn't breathe. She'd yet to walk inside her parents' house, or even ring the bell, still fiddling with her dress. In the garish light of the massive estate, her skin appeared to be glowing. Another telltale sign that the mating process had begun. Now she was gasping for air, tossing me looks that were driving me crazy. Bird soup? Yes. Yeah, I got some bird dogs. Let them do their bird things. Driving me crazy. Do I look presentable? She asked in a much gruffier voice. You look fabulous, baby. Wow, I could barely recognize my voice. She shifted from foot to foot, raking her hand through her hair. Light perspiration created a luminous sheen on her face, and her lips were swollen from me sucking on them. God damn, she was, perhaps, the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. Especially since she appeared a little bit off kilter, her eyes open wide. You kept my thong. I did. Do you want it back? I dared pull the lacy. I added an ED for no frickin' reason. I dared pull the sexy lace from my pocket, pulling the material to my mouth and nose. Her laugh was subtle at first, then turned wilder with every passing second. When she rolled her fingers down her chest while turning and offering a salacious look, I could tell she was losing control. All in the... Yeah, okay, brain. Put the words in the right order. And all the women I'd been with over the years, none had gone from 0 to 1,000 with her level of desire. The fabulous girl was drunk on pheromones, and every whiff I took of her scent pushed me closer to losing control of my own faculties. Somehow, I doubted I'd endear myself to her. Endear. Dude, I got like 2 brain cells that actually showed up to work today. I feel them playing ping pong with every sentence that I fucking throw out here. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah. Somehow, I doubted I'd endear myself to her parents if I shifted in the middle of dinner. Somehow, I doubted I'd endear myself to her parents if I shifted in the middle of the dinner table. But it would be an experience to see their Fuck. Ugh. Sounds like Anbar brain. Oh my god. Sometimes I wish, like, I don't know, you could, like, plug it in, get it, like, past 50% capacity. Somehow. Nope, that's not the right sentence. But it would be an experience to see their faces. No, she whispered, as she curled her fingers, rolling them past the slit on her dress. I watched in awe as her eyelids half closed while she stroked her wet pussy. Ooh, dirty words. I knew it was wet because her scent continually filtered into my nostrils, driving me fucking nuts. My mouth was on fire, my tongue swollen and eager to quench my thirst, and my cock was aching to the point that now I was the one shifting from foot to foot. This was insane. Every moan was audacious, and every time her eyelashes skimmed across her cheeks, I thought for certain I was going to lose control. I did my best to remain a gentleman while she gyrated on her hand. Why wasn't I the one pleasuring her? When she was finished driving me crazy, she lifted her hand into the light, showing me her glistening fingers. Hold on. Even wiggling them to torment me. Then she made the mistake of shoving is the word I'm looking for. Then she made the mistake of shoving them into her mouth, making lewd noises. Now I was the one sweating like some fucking pig. I watched in awe and horror as she continued licking her fingers, cleaning... Holy fuck! Halfway through the sentence, my brain was like, fuck words, dude. Fuck words. We don't do that. We fucking don't do that, bro. Okay. I watched in awe and horror as she continued licking her fingers clean. And just when I thought I couldn't take it any longer, she sprang toward me, jumping into my arms. I'd been kissed by a girl before. Hell, there usually wasn't a game where a couple of puck bunnies didn't try to plant 1 or 5 on me. But this wasn't just a kiss. This was her tongue sliding down the back of my throat, her body molded with mine perfectly, and every sound she made affirmed that she belonged to me. Or maybe the other way around. I wrapped my arms around her, keeping her pinned against me. But the girl was stronger than she looked. Certainly much stronger than when I'd first met her. She wiggled to the point I was caught off guard. My body pitched back and forth, finally slamming against the door. Did I hear a bell somewhere? Oh, what did it matter? She moaned as she shifted, her knees pressed so tightly against me I could barely breathe. I could tell her feet were locked together by the way she tore at my hair. What? I could tell her feet were locked together, and the way she tore at my hair was a dazzling invitation. Sudden movement caught the corner of my eye, but it was too late for me to recover. The door was thrown open, and the two of us lost our balance since we'd be leaning against it. Can I say the word, please? The door was thrown open, and the two of us lost our balance since we'd been leaning against it. Down we went, hard. While the kiss was broken, it wasn't without a tiny whine escaping my mate's lip. Lips! There's 2 of them, dude! While the kiss was broken, it wasn't without a tiny whine escaping my mate's lips. She stared at me with wild eyes, her hunger completely evident and totally off the charts. And boy, did she look like a wild animal. Absolutely adorable. "Christine," came the chastising female voice. Very slowly, Christine lifted her head, her expression changing 180 degrees. "Well, hello, Mother. How are you?" The 2 women glared at each other, and I could barely keep from laughing. So, this was how their relationship was played out. Why did I have a feeling I'd be the referee by the end of the night? This entire situation was dangerous to my career. Hell. Okay, voice, join me! Hell. Being with her was dangerous to my love life. Who was I kidding? We were already way past the courting stage. Her mother took a giant step backwards as if the two of us had... That's all fucking folks. Her mother took a giant step backwards as if the two of us had a terrible disease that was catching. "Better late than never," her mother chided. I managed to crawl out from under Christine, helping her to her feet. "Mrs. Carrington," I started, trying to be nice, but my little mate stopped me by smashing the back of her hand against my chest. "I brought a date." Yes, I can see you did. You look untethered, her mother said by way of greeting. Music was flowing through the house, and I could hear voices. Lots of voices. What do we got? Page two page and a half. A page and a half. Okay. We're almost there. Christine took a deep breath, ready to launch into her mother. Don't usurp your father's evening, Christine. What about Delaney's engagement? Her mother laughed. Secondary to your father's planned evening. We'll get to that. I don't know why, but I like playing bitchy mothers. Sorry, we're keeping it in though. I was already on edge, futzing with my tie. The house her parents lived in was huge, putting the one I'd I done growed it up in it. Putting the one I'd grown up in to shame. However, I sensed there was no life in the place, given the stodgy furniture that appeared as if collected from every antique shop in the world. Such a pleasure to meet you, Sheila. Your daughter has told me many things about you. She eyed me with She eyed me with in a very. She eyed me with in a way someone would. I think there's an extra word in this sentence. Yeah, there is. I will fix it with my brain. She eyed me in a way someone would a damaged piece of furniture. Too bad humans couldn't detect shifters in their presence. I guess I could put on a little show and drop my canines just for kicks and giggles. Maybe later. All good, I hope. Let's get you both a drink. We have guests. I do hope you'll be on your best behavior, Christine. While the comment was directed toward her daughter, I was the one bristling. Already I had an opinion about the woman, and it wasn't very nice. She was controlling, so much so she'd managed to suffocate her daughter. Yet she was suffering. I could feel the apprehension she had while standing in her expensive Prada dress and heels that cost more than what Christine made in a month. There was something very oh my god, provincial? I gotta double check this. Especially today. It seems right. But then again, so does everything else. Hey, mouse and computer. Are we fucking on whose team are you on? Whose fucking team are you on? Now we go over here and we look here. Provincial, I think the word is that I'm seeking. Yep. Of or concerning a province of a country or empire, or considering the regions outside the capital of a city, country, and even when regarded as unsophisticated or narrow-minded. Hooray, hooray. We learn, we reaffirm, we end today stronger than before. There was something very provincial about her. Yet, she was jealous of her own daughter and her resilience and ability to escape what she likely felt was a prison. That's why she tormented her daughter, and why I could find fucking with her so enjoyable. Call me a very bad boy, but I couldn't help myself. She led us toward where a bar had been established, directing us to help ourselves. I'm going to find your father. I'm certain he's quite eager to meet your boyfriend, Christine. We all were. She offered a tight-lipped look before moving away. Christine's smile fell, shifting into what could only be described as a venomous look. Keep me from killing her. I'm not certain I want to. Hey, there's a helicopter. We'll chill. We'll chill for the helicopter doing its thing. We love a good helicopter. What's up, Momo? Momo, I'm giving out audiobooks today. My newest one, No Hero. It dropped yesterday. If you want it, you got it. Just by showing up here. Helicopter is almost gone. Hooray! Hooray! I'm not certain I want to. What would you like to drink? She popped up to the bar, not bothering to wait. I'll have a nice tall beer with a tequila chaser. Her choice of drink brought a laugh. Make that two. As soon as the bartender had poured the shots, she handed me one. The look in her eyes was practically murderous. I knew I liked this girl, but she was just giving me more and more reasons. Ooh, baby, I love the way every day the car drives by. Here you go. A toast. What are we toasting to? She tossed back the entire amount, slamming the glass onto the bar's surface. Hit me again. When a man appeared in the doorway alongside Sheila, she snarled under her breath. To bloody, violent murder. Christine, a gruff voice said, as a puffed-up man approached, one with the appearance of having one too many glasses of scotch with his buddies. Trailing behind him were three men about the same age, all wearing plastic smiles. The shot of tequila arrived just in time, and she tossed it back with a dramatic flair. Again, slamming the glass on the bar with enough force, I was shocked it didn't shatter. Ah! She even wiped her mouth with the back of her arm, as any cowboy. Fuck! She even wiped her mouth with the back of her arm, as any cowboy would do. When she snapped her head in his direction, I could swear she had demon eyes. Hello, Daddy. I'm home. Well, that was a 28-minute and 38-second chapter, and I think we're just going to call it there, because fucking, you know how we do today. Alright, we're going to go to chapter 20. We rename it. Oops, we pressed the wrong button. Chapter 20. Hooray, we made it. Well, I appreciate y'all for being here again. Real troopers lately. Yeah. I'll go get those promo codes, and we will be working on merch apparently soon.